Welcome back, everyone. In today's video, I'm going to cover another video on chess fundamentals. And again, this video will focus on piece mobility visualization. And again, to talk a little bit about the logical chess move by move. Again, that it's like considered a book on knowledge, right? It gives you and I'm talking to mostly chess adult improvers. It gives the chess adult improver knowledge, which is what one needs, right, when getting into chess. Somebody to explain to someone, to the reader, to verbalize, articulate what's going on in the position, what's going on move by move. And now with these videos, the chess fundamentals, I'm focusing on kind of breaking down the skills that are built on top of each other for chess, right? And again, compared to a kid, again, kid's brain is like a sponge. They learn faster, things stick quicker. They're better able to, move on to other things, right? Because their brain, they just learn faster. And again, for chess adult improvers, it's more difficult to learn things, to make things stick, which is why I'm breaking down the skills, right? And again, this first skill is piece mobility vision. Now, again, this puzzle, and it's like a chess maze puzzle, is from a book called Chess Mazes by Bruce Albertson. And again, it's a book that I have completed. Usually the best way to do this book, and again, this book focuses on one of the first things I recommend chess adult improvers to do is to do the chess mazes. And I'll read the back of the book, right? It says a completely new kind of chess puzzle helps you develop the necessary skills to take your game to the next level. If you are one who often loses games by hanging pieces or missing mates, then this is the book for you. To master chess mazes, you have to exert better control and command of the full potential of all the pieces, and you have to visualize their movements in your mind's eye. The result, excellent training to avoid one-move blunders, right? And again, this is like the basic, right? Just the skill, this is kind of distilled. There's not a lot of pieces on the board. The goal is to give check to the king. You can also capture pieces, right? So, and again, all these things you have to do in your mind. You have to keep track of what the squares that the bishop is controlling, and make sure that the knight doesn't land in those squares. And again, you can set up this position over the board as well and do the puzzles, which I recommend is to set up the pieces over the board and solve the puzzle without moving the knight over the board. And once you have your answer, you're gonna need a notebook to write your answers, right? And I believe this one was from puzzle 72. So you would write puzzle 72. My answer is, right, knight to d8. Second move, right, knight to e6. Third move, so on and so forth, right? And double check. Now the thing with this book is that sometimes there's puzzles with multiple solutions, right? Where sometimes there's two ways to checkmate the king. In that case, you would compare and you would find the solution with the quickest solution, the one that takes the less amount of moves. And sometimes, a few times, the solution from the puzzle is not the correct solution, right? You might find, hey, I found a faster solution that requires one move less, and this is a faster solution than the answer provided by the book. And again, so this is good training to warm up. I recommend if you're just barely new to chess to start working on this. It's pretty easy, but it's pretty basic, just to keep track of the squares and make sure you don't hang your piece. And again, you're doing all this in your mind. It's easier when you can just click on the squares and avoid the squares, but when you have to keep track of them in your mind, then that's where it becomes more difficult. Right? And again, you must go through this book. There's 2 books, right? Go through these books and make these skills unconscious, right, or subconscious, automatic, right? The reason why is because the other skills are stacked on top of, or other things you have to think about are stacked on top of this skill, right? So, yeah, it might be simple here, right? But again, once you're in the game and you're thinking about your opening, you're thinking about weaknesses, targets from your opponent's threats, plan your pawn structure, right? If you're thinking checks, captures, and threats, you're thinking about a bunch of other things, right? And then what happens is you forget that you make a move thinking about calculating 2 or 3 moves ahead, and you forget that the rook covers a square, right? And you fall into a blunder. So this should be kind of automatic, right? So this is why I'm recommending this training first. Now, as far as the solution, again, I can't remember. I just set up this position right now. I think the solution is knight to d8, knight e6, right? And then because this pawn, we can only check. You can also work backwards. You can say we can check from here, but it's defended by the bishop. So we have to remove by the bishop, right? This also starts training you to identify what pieces are defended by what pieces, right? The pawn is defended by the bishop. This bishop is a loose piece, is not defended. The knight guards the bishop here. This knight is not protected. The pawn is not protected. The rook is undefended. Well, actually, if we move the rook back, now the bishop guards the rook, right? This pawn is also defended by the knight, right? So you're going to have to find a way to give check to the king, right? So again, these little simple concepts, right? Where can my piece go? What squares can I not go to? What pieces are defended? How are they defending each other? What pieces are not defended? And then all that, you use your mind, your visualization to get to your solution. And then you write it down, right? So now you're practicing memorizing the squares. Knight to d8, knight to e6. And again, by writing things down, it sticks, your learning sticks better. Again. So let me know what you thought of this video, and I'll see you in the next video for chess fundamentals.